here. Are you in there, Marxist?
I am sending my clients info.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and jump right into the action here, folks. Got lots of TF2 for you this evening as we take a look here. It looks like it's a 2-2 game here. I'm not sure if we're in the first or second half. I'm assuming first half, but if you're watching here, we already have some Ubers being exchanged here right outside of Saw as 4G starting their push back out here. Lansky high up into the sky. Duatna is able to get sneaky there as it's going to be 2 players down on each side. Duatna going down, not looking good for 4G at the moment. There goes Lansky as well. Banny's in though. He wants to try and get something on to the medic there, 404, but not going to happen. Going to have to back off. 4G is getting themselves all the way back here in back into second, and it looks like Ding Dong Daddy is going to have a bit of an Uber advantage here, about 30% or so. So we'll have to see what they decide to do with it. Bandy's inside of Saul, though, playing a bit aggressive here, just kind of getting the shots out. But we're going to see a bit of a hold here. They do have this full Uber ready to go, though. And they're actually playing on Spy as well. Not sure why they're deciding to go that route with a full Uber. They had a pretty decent Uber advantage, but they have Sneaky up on Spy here.
Yeah, the rule of thumb is you don't want to run a util when you have Uber advantage because it screws you. But we'll see now. Sneaky is actually doing the sneaky thing. We'll see what happens with Shade here. So the thing with Spy here is that 4G has played together a really long time and they have a pretty good idea of where everyone's supposed to be. And Alec went down. That might actually be for the best. No, nothing happening there with the Spy play. Now you're 2 down. So there's a pretty good chance we're going to see 4G not even have to pop coming out here. They do get Blaze, a little bit of server lag, and Lansky's going to knock out the Pocket Showstopper. I'm pretty sure he's the Pocket. And yeah, so there it goes. We did not see the Uber come out, so they're going to push this on through to second. Just keep this train rolling. And I don't think Ding Dong Daddy is going to be able to do a whole lot about it.
Really questionable play there, deciding to go Spy when they had, I don't know if they weren't keeping track of the Uber properly or what, but I mean, they had a 40% advantage, and here comes Froyo working their way into last. Here they popped off that Uber. Kosa's gonna go down, and now it's Banny getting onto the point, getting some time down. It's 2 players down for Ding Dong Daddy, but Banny and Duatna both gonna go down, so now the spawns are coming through. Actually, 3 down for them right now, getting blown on through, melted on this, and now it's just going to be Clockwork in trying to kind of delay here so Shade can get himself out, and 404 getting the arrow kill on the Clockwork, but here comes Sneaky, and Shade's just going to hit the kill line there, and that is going to be a good last hold there for Ding Dong Daddy.
Yeah, they kited it really well and then translated it to an immediate push that got Shade. And now they're in a pretty heavy position to swing because no Shade, you don't have to worry as much, but the force is going to come out from Blaze. So that's kind of a tragedy. I wouldn't say it's like a major Titanic level tragedy, but it's sad. That would have been really good for them to get through that without popping, but you know, you get that from Blaze.
Yeah, that's nothing surprising there with him getting that force out. But right now we do have Daddy kind of sitting in lower here, and they're actually on getting the cap right now. Is Froyo on to second. Banny was all the way back there. They had to send somebody back for him. It's Alec who's in there trying to do something, but Banny getting on to 404, and 404 getting the saw, able to finish him off, keeping himself alive, and they're going to go ahead and grab this second point back, but here comes Froyotech. Lansky, huge bomb across, going to bomb onto the point, forces the Uber down to 404 there, and now they're going to be down a pretty hefty advantage there, as Shade is at 85% on his. They're just building it all the way back in mid right now. They're going to have a lot to be able to push back through into Saul with, and I'm not sure if they realize how heavy they are down right now, but Ding Dong Daddy is all the way into mid, and the Uber's going to get popped, and here comes Clockwork. They're taking him all the way on through. He gets a lot of damage out, no frags really, as he's still inside of Saul, not able to get any frags, and eventually goes down to Schnell, and that will be a decent kite there from Ding Dong Daddy, and now they have the big advantage, but Sneaky is all the way back right now as well, all the way behind them, and I'm not sure what he was doing back there. He's having a fight with Banny, but I think he might fall here. Does pick up the health pack, and he's just kind of toying with him right now, sitting all the way back there. Good distraction at the moment. He's still back there. right now, which
it's
is
a pretty
kind of...
good play too from him to because they already had a man advantage, so that's screw around time as the roamer, and he's really distracting them. And actually, the Uber comes in lobby too.
They do. Yeah, they did pop off there, and they have a scout to contest, but there's also Clockwork all the way back on mid right now. They need to be careful of this. Can they get second time? No, they can't. They stopped it. So that will be a good cap there from Clockwork. He's just going to run all the way back. Alec will be there to contest, though, as he's currently... I'm not sure if he's going to contest the point directly. Yes, he is, and here comes Schnell in from the other side as well. They got to try and stop him here. They get Clockwork right before he gets the cap, so they do stop second, but right now Shade has full advantage. They're sitting inside of Saw, but the push should be coming through here shortly once they get Clockwork and all the boys up, have their numbers to move in with, so just kind of waiting for that to come on through, but should be able to hopefully push them out here without using, but I can assume that they're going to try and force them as they come out of Saw.
Yeah, this is a really big force. There goes Lansky throwing people around, falling down. Shade is following. They're really pressing this Uber. And they're going to get sneaky out of it, which is an acceptable loss for Ding Dong, really. You expect to lose your roamer on a push like that. And I don't know that 4G is going to be able to press this. They're going to try, I think, maybe. Nope, no, they're not going to try. So
yeah, probably.
There that goes.
And probably the smarter play there. They do have a 50% advantage right now, Ding Dong Daddy does. They've worked their way into lobby, they're waiting. 404 is coming out with the Uber right now. I'm not sure if they're going to have to use it here or not. They've sent Showstopper across to try and get it's gotten a good bit of damage out onto the scouts, and Kosa sends a nice sticky over to get Clockwork. Banny was forced out as well as he was down by the skin of his teeth there, holding on. So they sent Blaze flying through. He wraps all the way back around, but they were ready for it. Showstopper was waiting for him, so now both teams, actually the Uber was forced out of them, and Shade is going to pop his off as well. Slightly better Uber here, so they're going to have to back themselves off. Sneaky had went down, but he got Duatin in the process, which is a great pick for them, but Showstopper's still in right now, gets the frag onto Shade, which is huge for them, and it's a 2-on-3 right now. 404 still alive, managed to keep himself up, and they got the better of that fight there. Clockwork's still down in lower, bit of server lag, but he does go down, but Blaze trying to contest a bit as well, but he'll back himself out, so mid-cap's going to come back over here to Ding Dong Daddy, and they're going to have a 60% advantage here moving forward.
Yeah, they have a pretty clear push window, so we're just waiting on the forward spawns to come in now from Schnell and Showstopper, but 4G knows that they have to wait, so they're pushing in, even though they're at a Uber disadvantage, and they're going to trade out. They do manage to get Kosa there. That's pretty huge. It's hard to defend, but now the Uber comes out, and they're going to get Duatna. So, at the end of the day, it's not so bad. Oh, trying to get out of there. The little scouts from Froyo, they managed to make it out. Lansky's going to go down as well. There's nobody really to hero Uber on. 4G, I don't think is going to try it. They already did that with Clockwork, and it did not turn out. So, they wisely decide not to attempt that again.
Yeah, good choice. And now they've got themselves all the way back at last here. They do have an advantage, which they might take in off of. They've got 40% right now, but Blaze goes down. Banny's kind of worked himself in there. They're sitting in cheese, but they have a back cap going on. Alex on it. They stop it just in time. As Lansky bombs back into the point, they were able to save it, so a lot of time down on it, but they're not really going to be able to do anything with that Uber now, except for hold last with it, so they've worked themselves back at the moment. Alec may come up on an off class here, we'll see. Have to see when he gets a spawn. No, he just comes up scout here, so no off classing from Ding Dong Daddy. They do have Blaze sitting down low, they have to be careful. Didn't decide to go in for anything, wise decision, so he's just kind of hanging out there, and both teams gonna sit around and have a chat while we wait for the play and the push to be made into last here.
Yep, we'll see eventually something. The double suicide's been coming out. Clockwork is going to try his hand at counter sniping, so we'll see, even though there's no sniper to counter at the moment. He's gonna body shot Sneaky, and they're gonna get Alec, so this is basically the best chance 4G's gonna get. Hopefully the sticky trap doesn't get them. There they go. So Lansky, he knows what he's doing, but Blaze also gonna get killed by Schnell, so you really don't want to see that there. if you're a 4G, but they're getting stalled out here a little bit.
As we see, they're still up into lobby right now. Blaze is down, but they're deciding now, opting for the decision to just go back to last, and they're going to go ahead, keep themselves back there. Ding Dong Daddy not yet given a presence inside of lobby here, slowly working their way, and Sneaky's in a while, but they also have Blaze, who's down and lower as well. Alex gonna try and contest him a bit. Gets a lot of damage out onto him, but not able to finish him off. And Clockwork getting the headshot onto Sneaky as well. So it's gonna be 2 players down for them. And they're gonna have to continue to be passive back there. And they're gonna have to be careful as well, because Clockwork is bringing that sniper all the way up into Cheese right now. He's dropped down on towards second here. And they're starting to get the time, the cap time down onto it a bit. They're on the point, but the Uber has been used, and a counter pop coming in from Shade as well. But Showstopper was not able to be, to be saved by it. It's just 1 down, 2 down now. Showstopper and Schnell have both gone down. Still have a fight going here. Sneaky's actually up on Spy right now. We'll see if he can get the frag. He's sitting inside of lobby, and he wants Shade here as he's going to try and go in for him here. There's 4G is going to get this cat back here. Try to get Shade. Only got him down to about half health, and eventually going down there was Sneaky. So pushed all the way back here is Ding Dong Daddy, not able to really do much on those last pushes. Couldn't get a good, any good pick really to move in with.
There's also a very sneaky sticky trap. Oh, they found it. Okay. They were walking around that real close, and I was sort of hoping that nobody would trip over it, but they made it through. Yeah, some kind of off last pushes there, and a good push out from 4G. When you're trying to push out like that, you need to be really flexible, and 4G definitely did that. They showed their sort of well of experience. Clockwork actually falling out of the window, gonna kill Alec, but I think that's the end of him. Yeah, so just going to be a 1-for-1 trade. We might see more aggression come out from 4G since it's even again. Oh, Banny going to take a rocket to the face, but still kill Sneaky. The pain of Soldier versus Scout.
Yeah, he just rocked him there, but Banny is going to go down to a sticky from Kosa, and both Ubers have been popped off here. They'll be exchanged. Showstopper down and lower there. He's very hurt, and he's getting flashed. Ooh, barely stays alive. Manages to surf it on up to the drop down area there, but getting pushed back out here is 4G as Banny has gone down. They're actually seeming to rotate around a little bit, or at least Lansky was. Clockwork's gonna fall out of the window once again here. He's just gonna go balls to the wall. He gets Alec. Gonna fall to a rocket though. Actually, I thought it was gonna be the rocket, but Scattergun gets him here. So just a spam fest inside of Saw at the moment. Not too much to speak of here, just kind of resetting, but both medics even on the Ubers here at the moment.
Yeah, the Sneaky actually going to go down to Banny as well. I kind of like what they're doing. Lansky has snuck around the other side. Showstopper and crew kind of thought the combo was still in Saw, and then Lansky just appeared because they didn't have enough eyes on the flank. And they're going to drive this boat right into station. And Blaze already on top of the point. Going to see a heavy. The Uber comes out on both teams. Lansky not really getting shot up too much. The heavy is still alive on the low ground. There, he's finally going to go down. But Duwanda and Clockwork, Shade, and Lansky all down. They were right in the middle of the map, just surrounded by blue. No hope.
Yeah, Alec and Showstopper did some work there on last, able to hold it off, so Blaze, I think, tried to come in there as well, and Alec picking up another frag onto him, so pretty nice advantage here that 404 is going to have, about 45% or so. They get back out here, they're going to grab the second point, and another good last defense coming through there from Ding Dong Daddy.
Yep, that I would blame 4G for that more so than Ding Dong Daddy's play, but that's, that you just get trapped on that low ground sometime, and with a last that's this open, you're pretty much done, so there's no more success to be had. They're still pushing in on the left here pretty aggressively as 4G though, despite being 2 down, 3 down now. Oh, Shade very threatened. The engineer is gonna go and try and blast him, but Schnell, I think, no, Showstopper ultimately snatched that kill. The engineer actually out on second. I think we're probably near, yeah, there we go. So it's a shame we didn't see a true NG med pick, but, so ends the first half 2-2.
Yeah, really good game here, and just looking at how dominant that 4G has been over the past year, you wouldn't necessarily expect. And not that Ding Dong Daddy isn't a strong team by any means, but just how strong that 4G is, I necessarily wouldn't have expected them to be giving them, this good of a fight on, on this map here. Just in general, they seem to be pretty well coordinated, playing well, and I mean they're keeping it to 2-2 right now. We're waiting on the second half, but so far we kind of missed the beginning stages of that game, but. So far, at least by the scoreline, things are pretty tight.
Yeah, that's, if anything, it's a testament to the fact that Ding Dong Daddy's been together for a while. Schnell and Kosa have been constantly together for years now. Years of them playing together. And then they kind of added Showstopper and Alec to that mix. I think they've picked up Sneaky within the last season or two. And, and they've just kind of rolled with that setup for a while, and it shows that they're pretty solid together, especially against 4G, another team that's been together for a year or more, basically, and longer in a lot of cases. The other sort of storyline that I would like to spin here, Gecks, is that traditionally Snakewater has been thought of as a Banny team map, like pretty much throughout time. If they've had to pick maps, Bannies, the team that had the Banny on it, tended to pick Snakewater when they needed to. So the Snakewater, the snake whispering parts of them must have fallen off for today.
I guess so, or Ding Dong Daddy just decided to come out with guns blazing here or something. But it seems as though my game has decided to crash on me, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and get that back up. But so far, very, very close game there. Ding Dong Daddy showing up tonight, boys, so see if they can keep it rolling into the second half here, and I'm not sure if things are getting started in there, but if they do, for the time being, you're going to have to take over for me, Marxist.
These things I can do, but so far we're just, we're taking our bathroom breaks and getting additional snacks, so... Oh, so the Dashner production says that we are just now starting. There's the match going live, so... I will take you through a mid. I want to watch Blaze. Everybody says he's the best roamer in Invite, so we'll just let that go. He does have a lot of ping playing from the North Pole or wherever it is he lives, but we'll see what he does here. Snakewater's a pretty interesting mid for roamers. So he is walking along that bottom side, going for the big bomb, landing on a bunch of players stacked in the box. Oh, a medic's trying to fight him there. He's hurt though. And we're going to end up seeing a lot of 4G dying here. Yep, there they go. So we'll see, can Alec fight out Lansky here? Actually, Schnell too. And Showstopper's going to manage to kill himself. But Schnell and Alec going to cap that point with a little over 80 health between them.
Oh, there we have it. Oh, my configs are lovely as well, so I'm going to have to fix those in the process. But hey, there we go. It's like a good little mid there from Ding Dong Daddy, yeah?
Yeah, it was interesting to see the way that that 4G went about doing their double bomb. I know I've played with Banny on a few occasions on this map, and he's always got some kind of trick up his sleeve about how you can execute a double bomb, and he's got some pretty interesting names for him too. So thought I could add that little bit of color there. But Uber advantages aren't really too much of a thing because you just had 2 scouts survive. Sneaky messing around in Saw. So just a stalemate right now. Your garden variety.
Garden variety stalemate. I love it. So we're just waiting here to see when we get things going. Both teams do have that full Uber up ready to go. So right now, Ding Dong Daddy kind of working their way in here. Sneaky gets blasted out of the air there. Couldn't get anything onto Shade other than a little rocket. Oh, man. Shade even got the arrow onto him as well. What a crazy string of events there. I mean, he got blasted, and then the air shot arrow there coming out of Shade. So that was a very interesting set of events there. But it's going to be a couple down for Ding Dong Daddy right now. They're going to have to back themselves up just a tad here. Neither team popping off that Uber yet, but Duatn is actually going to go down, and that's a big pick for them as Clockwork has actually been blasted off of this planet as well, and Blaze may go down here. He's very hurt. He does go down. Somehow 4G has gotten pushed all the way back here. They're down 3 players, just getting a spawn in now, and here comes Sneaky in the lobby, gets the damage out, but Banny will go ahead and finish him off, and the Uber was actually forced out of 404 there, and Shade coming back out with it as well, so both teams gonna exchange here on second, and not too many frags to speak of at the moment. Showstopper kind of working on top here, does take out Banny with a rocket, and seems to be still a pretty even fight here. Schnell is going at it with Lansky, and he's able to stay alive, but nobody really falling off here. Alec finally dying, just a lot of damage going back and forth. Here comes the frags, 404 goes down, Showstopper as well, but there's a back cap going on right now. I'm not sure if anybody can get there in time. Bandy's not gonna, oh, he stops it just in the nick of time there. Oh, it was so close, but able to hold it off there was 4G, but regardless, Ding Dong Daddy just got annihilated there on second.
Yeah, you can only hang around the bend there behind that little shack for a little bit. You know, there's always the historical story that in certain situations you can only live for so many seconds. Like if you were a pilot in a battle or whatever, you'd only live and it's like that. When you're sitting at that bend on Snakewater second and you're pushing into 2, you can only sit there for like 5 or 6 seconds and then you're gonna die. You just can't see enough of what's going on, and eventually you're just going to get thrown down. And actually, Kosa going to get directed here during the course of the second push. You don't want to see that. No demo, no defense, Gecks.
Yeah, that's the big player right there, and the Uber is going to get popped out from Shade as well into last. They're down a couple of players, and they had one in forward who's going to come back out there. It's Alec who's still in there, but no frags on the 4G yet. That counter Uber had been popped off there by 404, and they're only going to push them back momentarily. They're still down 3 players. Only Clockwork has gone down here. Sneaky blasted into the sky. I don't think they're going to hold this. It's just Showstopper up, but not going to be able to come back out in time here. So a round over to 4G. They're going to pick one up. It will be now 3-2 on the second half.
A pretty good round there.
That was a nice little push on through, and that'll give them the 1-round lead here. And we are into the second half now, in case you are just joining us. 3-2, Froyotech is in the lead here. So Sneaky immediately got onto Duatna, but one of his stickies will catch him, and he will then go down for that. And Blaze coming across with the bomb, lands a good one into 404, not able to kill him, and they clean up on the pursuing players very nicely, but they have been pushed back here quite a bit. 3 players down for Ding Dong Daddy right now. And they've had to move themselves all the way back here, and the sticks are going to come through as well from Duatna, just launching them into him. They're going to get pushed all the way back into last year. Luckily for them, 404 was able to stay alive, though, and keep this Uber at least to defend last with.
Yeah, not all is lost, and we've actually got Alec going on to Sniper. And this is kind of an opportune moment for it, because you might see some fiddly farting around in lobby. There it is. And not going to be able to hit the shot, but that's like your one window for the one-and-done sniper play, but it did not happen. They're actually going to fight this. Red is kind of clouded up in the box, and they're going to get forced. And, well, that's just not what you want to see if you're Ding Dong Daddies. They kind of got caught in that, okay, everybody come get your buffs, and then, oh, wait, 4G is here.
Yeah. It's like, hello, Blaze just came flying out from under. Nobody was watching it, and Shade has popped off his Uber here inside of lobby. The Sneaky went down, but it was able to get Blaze in the process. They exchanged with each other there, so kind of a reset here, it seems. 4G still up into lobby, but not really able to do too much off of that, as they're kind of even on player amounts, at least right now. Clockwork was in, tried to get something going, but gets nothing off of that. May have just suicide play, but Duatna, his little sticky trap comes through there. Alex got tripped up on that, so kind of passively holding here. Passively holding lobby, they are, but nonetheless, we are going to be semi-even here on the Ubers. 404, slightly 20% advantage, but not really anything for them to write home about and push out a last with, but just kind of the stalemate here. Alec is up on Sniper, Clockwork on Sniper as well, so we'll see who can get that coveted pick to start off the push here.
Yeah, well, it's our sniper v sniper duel here between Clockwork and Alec, but they're crowding Shutter Door, and that's gonna give our sniper Clockwork some pretty good vantage points. But Sneaky's actually gonna go down in the sticky trap. So, oh wow, Kosa's gonna double donk Banny maybe. It said it was crit, so. That'll even all things out. Clockwork's still working that Shutter Door. Blaze gonna go down to Kosa's elaborate garden of stickies that was over there on the right side. And actually the Uber's gonna come out from red right now. And Shade is standing on second, kinda hoping that nobody surprises him. Showstopper's gonna fall on Lansky's head and get blown away. And there's Sneaky trying to do stuff. Shade is gonna pop. Not really playing his typical Farmer Brown tonight. And Lansky coming over the right side now. It should pretty much end it.
Yeah, he's gotten on the point. They've totally locked him off a spawn there. Banny was able to clean up on the cap. And once again, Ding Dong Daddy allowed Blaze to come in from lower and force again. They're not watching lower or something, but that's twice in a row now that not watching lower has cost them the round. So that's, you know, they're really going to have to watch that. And now it's another round over to Froyo here. It's a 4-2 game. What was a close first half so far, Froyo has adapted nicely to the playstyle, and they've come out strong here on the second half. So all they need is one more big bomb from Lansky over on the 404 right away, still managing to stay alive, still up right now. Blaze is going to try and get a rocket into him, finally takes him down, getting wiped out here, not fully, but just melted on this mid just about is Ding Dong Daddy. Only Kosa was able to stay alive here and trying to hold him off. Clockwork is him, he's going to sticky jump away, but he's going to fall here to the pistol of Clockwork, and this could be a straight run and gun here into last for Froyo.
Yeah, losing your demo that late in the fight is really hard to deal with, because Kosa's going to be down for about 7 seconds. They did choose to stack the point, though, so they may have had their window to get in there, but they're going to just have to use their Uber eventually at a doorway. It looks like that's what they're getting ready to do. We got Duwatna and a scout buddy over here, and Lansky, so that's your whole crew. If I needed a crew for an Uber, Gecks, this is what I'd use.
Yeah, this is the guys you want to take it in, but they have a Pyro who denies them very nicely there. They are now going to send Banny in to try and clean up on him, but good plays from the Pyro there to hold them off initially, but is it enough to hold them off fully? Lansky did get a pick on the Showstopper, getting a second one there. Duwatna's getting frag onto Alec as well, and I think that's just about all she wrote there. Schnell is the last one in, and they get the cap, and that, ladies and gentlemen, will be the game. Froyotech taking it in the end there, 5-2, having a beast of a second half, picking up 3 relatively quick rounds there, and they're going to go ahead and take that one here on Snakewater.
Yeah, championship teams make those halftime adjustments, and whatever was going on at mid, we didn't really get to see too many mids prior to halftime, but I'm gonna assume that 4G just figured out whatever was bothering them there, and that Ding Dong Daddy did not have an answer, sadly.
Yeah, just not enough for them there. They weren't able to, I guess, change up their game in the second half enough to contest with Froyo there. As you said, championship teams will do that to you. But, I mean, regardless, we didn't really get to see it. It looks like Ding Dong Daddy had a good showing for the most part on that first half, just not able to carry on through with it into the second. But, you know, if they can keep that game that they had in the first half going into the second half on, you know, future maps against teams of this caliber, you know, maybe even see them in the mix for that 4th slot. Who knows? I mean, it's, as we were saying earlier, it's up for grabs for many different teams right now. So, you know, we'll kind of have to see how things go moving forward. But there you have it. Froyo taking it 5-2 here. Any more comments from you there, Marxist?
Not a ton. It was a good little night for TF2 though. You got a twofer, a little double shot at TF2. So I had a good time, Gex. I hadn't actually casted with you before, I don't believe. So
no, I don't think so.
It was a first time thing.
yeah, it was a good. I kind of hadn't casted here for a while. Kind of been on hiatus since there hasn't been much going on since ESEA land. But it was good to get back in here with you. Good to cast with you for the first time. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of each other, much more throughout this season. So you know, it was good. It was good to do that. And of course, big shout outs to Dashner as usual for giving this beautiful production that you've all been watching this evening. He's the man, the myth, the legend. So give some hearts and stream for that guy there for holding down the fort tonight. And if you don't have any more closing comments there, Marxist, I think we're going to go ahead and sign off for the evening. Thanks for tuning in with us, everybody. This evening, I believe we have some more casts tomorrow as well. So be sure to tune into that. Check it out on the forums where you can kind of grab all the details on that. But that'll do it for us this evening, guys. Thanks for tuning in with us, and have a good night.